Victoria Vavra versus Jesus de la Torre Vavra, Attorney Schaefer for the plaintiff, and Attorney Moldman for the defendant.
Okay, good. Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
Morning. Morning.
This is a time and place set for the trial in this matter. Mr. Schaefer, are you ready to proceed?
Ready to proceed, Your Honor.
Mr. Voldevan, are you ready to proceed?
We are, Your Honor. I did want to take up one preliminary matter regarding, I guess, the issues that are preserved or that issues that are going to be presented today. I could be heard briefly on that, Your Honor, regarding whether or not the property issues are moved, or if it's just the custody issues, or if the court will consider all those issues.
Well, looking back at the case scheduling order in this matter, the issues that were listed as dispute were custody, support, and parenting time. And I do note, I guess, part and parcel of that, some of the issues that have come up, at least in the brief, and that were that there's a dispute over the school district and the tax exemption. So I believe those are the issues the court was aware of. So
Your Honor, that was in reviewing the exhibit list filed by Mr. Schaefer. It appeared to me that there was some property issues that are being disputed, and so what I'd ask for the court to make a ruling that those issues have been resolved pursuant to pretrial order and schedule order, and that they are not, they are moved as far as this leaving only the child-related issues.
Your Honor, I guess I think that there are property issues, and I don't have a present recollection of the pretrial, but I know what the order says. There have been items that have come up during discovery since that matter, and there are 3 property issues that I think need to be addressed, and I would request that ability to do so.
okay, well, the case scheduling order states that it's custody, support, parenting time. The court is not going to entertain property issues when the parties have stated that those issues were resolved and settled, and the case scheduling order does not reserve those particular issues. So the court is not going to go into any property disputes in this matter. So we'll leave it at that, and you can do what you have to do. But I'm not taking those issues up because they were not properly preserved.
Thank you.
Schaefer, do you wish to make an opening statement or proceed to your proofs?
I wish an opening statement, Your Honor.
Okay, go ahead.
Your Honor, you have before you a marriage that took place on July 7th of 2017. There are 3 minor children that are 8, 5, and 2. The parties, to some degree, have dealt with the children issue at this point in time. My client and the defendant separated in January of 23, and during that time they have wandered through and have been given each other an effort to resolve the child issues. And currently the proofs are going to show that for approximately 1 year they have been following a schedule whereby my client, the mother, has had the 3 children every night, Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, and Monday night, and that the defendant father has had the overnights on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. That has continued for approximately 1 year. The proofs are going to show that the defendant father has refused to obtain employment outside of his so-called self-employment, and as a result, approximately a year ago, she obtained full-time employment to make sure that there was insurance on the children, and she has accomplished that. She will testify, and there will be proofs, that the best interest of the minor children would be to either maintain the status quo or grant physical custody to my client, the mother, and that there be joint legal custody. There have been some difficulties that she's been trying to navigate for the best interest of the children, including the stability of the home that the defendant maintains for the children, The fact that he has left the children alone numerous times to their detriment. There's going to be proofs that under the criteria of the child custody that my client is the nurturing parent, that she is the parent that the children look to. She is the stability partner in this relationship. The proofs are going to show my client has purchased a home since they separated, that it is a proper home for the children. The proofs are going to show that where the children live with the father on the 3 nights during the week is a property that is owned by defendant's parents, that it is physically inadequate for the children, in that it's a 1-bedroom house, that there are not bathing facilities in that home for the children, and as a result, any bathing takes place at another residence with the grandparents. The proofs are going to show that there's been a breakdown in the marriage, that there should be a continuation of what the status quo is. If there is complaint, as I anticipate, that the defendant is saying, well, I don't have any weekends. We have tried to remedy that, but he has expressed, the proofs will show, that he is so flexible in his self-employment that he can be with the children during those 3 days that he currently has. But if that is a concern of the court, we have offered to give him a weekend every 5th week and adjust the parenting time accordingly. I think the stability of the children will be shown in that this regiment has worked well enough, and the children have thrived in that regard, and they have dealt with that on a proper basis. Say that that should be continued. There's no reason not to continue that. There should be proper support to be determined, and we are asking that that relief be given at the time that the proofs are done. So that's my opening statement, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Moldovan, do you wish to make an opening statement at this time? Waive your opening statement or reserve your opening statement?
Your Honor, I'll make a brief opening statement.
Okay, go ahead.
So, thank you. So what Mr. Schaefer and I do agree on is obviously that these parties have followed a schedule that is essentially as outlined by Mr. Schaefer. Dad picks up the kids Tuesday morning, has them Tuesday overnight, Wednesday overnight, Thursday overnight, and then mom gets them Friday after school, and has them Saturday and Sunday and then Monday. Previously, when these parties separated, what you have here is two parents who are trying to probably work out a schedule on their own just to share the week. And if you look at what they've been doing, originally the testimony will show that dad actually had the kids Monday overnight, Tuesday overnight, Wednesday overnight, and Thursday overnight. So it was a 4-3 schedule each week. After a few months, it switched. And for last year, they have been doing the schedule where mom is having the kids Monday night instead of dad. However, in order to accommodate that, that schedule requires dad to drive to mother's house, pick up the kids before school, get them around, and then get them to school. So then what you have is dad's doing that school care heavy lifting work Tuesday morning, Tuesday after school, Wednesday morning, Wednesday after school, Thursday morning, Thursday after school, Friday morning, and then after school Friday, and then he meets mom for the exchange after her work schedule. So what that ends up doing there is it allows dad to be the one kind of addressing those needs while mom is off to be able to enjoy the time outside of school with the kids. That schedule wasn't one that's going to work. And that's why we're here today, Your Honor, to try to get the court to recognize that there is an established custodial environment here, the children, and that is based on essentially an equal parenting time schedule. So again, we'd ask the court to consider the facts and the best interests, and look at that as a schedule of what would be appropriate for these 3 children. Obviously, one of the issues there that was a concern that we may get today is the school. These children, two of the children are school age, and they've been attending Gull Lake schools, Richland Public Schools, since the beginning, since they started school. This was an agreement the parties reached when they were married, and this is an agreement the parties reached since they separated. And this is an agreement the parties have actually just reconfirmed again for this next school year. So again, they have ties to the community in Gull Lake. They have built bonds and relationships and a home and school record that support keeping the children in that school district. And the evidence we believe will support a essentially equivalent or parent time schedule year round. I don't, we have the summer coming up here. I think the court, I'd ask the court to consider a schedule there that allows the father to have an equal amount of time with the children as mother. And again, I think the proofs will show that based on that and the relatively similar incomes of the parties, that the child support issue is really is going to be minimal, if anything. So I'd ask the court to review after hearing the evidence, to make a decision in the best interest of the kids, which I believe is a joint physical custody and joint parent time arrangement. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Schaefer, you want to call your first witness?
Yes, I would call Victoria Vavra,
Okay,
and you are the plaintiff in this divorce action. Is that correct?
Yes,
And you have filed a complaint in this matter, and you've alleged that there's been a breakdown in the marriage relationship to the extent there's no reasonable likelihood of saving the marriage. Is that a true statement?
yes.
And is there any chance of saving the?
No.
And would you briefly state to the judge the reason for the breakdown?
We ended up having disagreements on where we were living, or jobs, or health insurance for the kids. So at some point I left and did that myself.
Okay. And is there any chance of saving the marriage?
No.
And in relation to the three children, have you and your husband made an effort to set forth a routine for the children?
Yes.
And what is the current routine of the children for parenting time?
I have the kids Friday right after school, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I get them up and ready for school on Tuesday, and then he picks them up and drops them off.
And then you get the children back on the next Friday. And is that the routine every week?
Yes.
And how long has that been going on?
I think over a year now.
And was there a time that you were a stay-at-home mother?
Yes, for most of our marriage.
And so prior to the last year, you were a stay-at-home mother and cared for the three children?
Right.
And what was the main reason that you went back and obtained full-time employment?
The kids needed health insurance.
And did you urge your husband to accomplish that need?
Yeah, for years.
And what requests had you made of him to do that?
I just needed him to, if I was going to stay home, to have a job so we could have an adequate housing or bathtubs or health insurance, because their teeth were literally falling out.
And did he obtain full-time employment to do that?
No, and his excuse always was that the kids, they were little, so they don't need health care or dentist visits. They're too small for it.
So what full-time employment did you obtain?
I got a job at Gallagher Uniform in Battle Creek.
And was that a year ago at the time that you separated?
Yes. It was
And,
a couple months before we separated.
Okay. In 2000, what was your income?
What was that? Will you say that again?
In 2023, how much was your income?
On my taxes this year, I think I claimed 53 or 56, somewhere in there, with
Okay.
both jobs, real estate.
Okay, and you had two jobs during that time. Gallagher's and what else?
Gallagher, and I am a realtor.
Okay. And did you make to shape your time period at Gallagher's to complement your obligations with the children?
I did. I had to switch a schedule and then so that I always have Mondays off. I used to take a random day off to help them, but I told them I can't do that anymore for the kids. And I also have them switch it. So I come in super late every single Tuesday, and they have been accommodating that for months.
So the current schedule that you are on, the Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, you are available for the children. Is that correct?
At all times.
At all times. And your employer has accommodated that time period for you so that you are available?
Yes.
Okay. Has that worked? That schedule worked for the children?
It has. It's worked great.
Are the children appear to be comfortable with that program?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that calls for speculation.
Well, he didn't ask what they said. I guess I'll allow him to go into that if she can identify a basis for it.
Okay. Next is why do you come to the conclusion that they are comfortable with that schedule that you currently have?
I mean, they're happy and the schedule's consistent.
All right. And where do you live at the present time?
I live in Battle Creek.
And what is the address? And do you own that property?
I do.
And did you purchase that after your separation?
Yes.
And describe the physical outlay of that home.
I redid the house, and then it has 3 bedrooms and a bathroom with a bathtub, which the kids had not had in years, and a washer and dryer, which the kids had also not had in years. So it's a normal family home.
And do the children have their separate bedrooms?
Eli and Everly share a bedroom, and then Ava has her own bedroom.
Okay. Are you familiar with where they live when they are with your husband?
Yes, I used to live there. So
You used to live there. Describe that location, would you please?
there is one actual bedroom. The other bedroom that he'll claim is there is really another living room with no actual doors on it. There's no bathtub, so the kids have always had to bathe in the sink, which is fine when they're babies, but they're not. There's no washer and dryer, so that makes that a pain. So they do all that at their grandma and grandpa's house instead, because it's not provided at their house.
So the facility where the kids are at with the dad has no ability other than a sink to bathe. Is that accurate?
There's a shower. There's a shower, but the kids are too little for that at this point.
Okay. Was that a bone of contention at the time that you lived there with your husband and the children?
Yes, it was one of our biggest problems.
And there's no washer and dryer there?
No, there's none of that either.
And when you were living with your husband at that location, how did you accomplish the washing of clothes?
I would either take them to his parents' house and walk them across a couple of yards, or I would go to a laundromat.
Okay. And who owns that property?
His parents.
How would you describe your relationship with the children?
We have a strong relationship. Normal mother roles. I think they find a lot of comfort being with me.
Objection calls for speculation.
Good.
What was that?
Then objection calls for speculation.
Well, if she can set a foundation.
And why do you say that they look for you for comfort?
Because I'm consistent. I'm always there. And when I say something's going to happen, it happens. I feel like at Dad's house, it's a bunch of empty promises. They come home with all these wild ideas, and when they don't happen, they're confused. So.
Okay. Objection, Your Honor. I'm going to call for that hearsay response and ask that be stricken. Has no foundation.
There was no hearsay, Your Honor.
Yeah, what's the hearsay, Mr.
She said
Mulder?
in Dan's house, they come home with wild thoughts and beliefs. Well, how would she know?
Well, she didn't identify any hearsay from any other parties other than, again, maybe the fact that the condition happens. I'm going to overrule the objection.
Thank you.
Do you have consistent rules in your home?
I do.
And during the 4 days during each week that you have the children, are you the person who is the caretaker for the children?
On Tuesday?
No, on the 4 days that you have the children
Oh,
each week.
yes. No, no one ever watches the kids. I take them everywhere they go. They are never babysat. I'm with them the whole time. Where
Okay.
go ahead.
And are you providing insurance coverage for the children?
I am for $345 a month.
And prior to your separation, is there any insurance for the children?
No, there was Medicaid on and off through the years and things of that nature, but we always had to try to come up with cash when the kids' teeth got bad enough or whatnot.
And as a result of the insurance, have you provided the appointments for the medical and dental work for the children?
I have.
And are there co-pays that come due to those appointments?
Yes,
And who has paid those?
I have.
And has your husband expressed to you his opinion about taking the children to medical appointments or urgent care if needed?
Yeah, he does not think that, he thinks it's a waste of time, and he has told the kids multiple times that doctors are bad and medicine is bad and all these things, but it's just the base of not wanting to carry health insurance.
And was that one of the reasons for the breakdown in your relationship?
Yes, that was another big reason.
Do you have the capacity and the inclination to give love and affection to the kids?
Of course.
And has there been any religion in the children's lives from either you or your husband?
No.
Your income of the $53,000 or $56,000 a year, is that sufficient for you to provide for the children's needs?
It is.
And have you been able to do so?
I have.
During the time this last year of the separation, has your husband provided any support to you?
No, I think he paid for one dentist bill that I'm aware of, but since he doesn't think they need to go, I don't think he feels obligated to support that.
All right. So as a result, he has not supported the payment other than the one time that you mentioned?
Correct.
You have owned this home for what period of time? How long have you owned it?
A little over a year.
And who lives in this home?
Just me and the kids.
Is there anybody else romantically involved in your life at the present time?
No.
And is there any anticipation that that circumstance is going to change other than you and the kids in the home?
No.
Do you feel that is a proper place for the children to live?
I do.
In comparison to what they are living in at the present time at the dad, since you've lived there, is there a difference in the quality of the structure of that home, of those two homes?
There is, and it's too small, so it's full of clutter. So the kids and Ava is old enough to have her own room, but she's sharing it with brother and sister, or they all just sleep in his room, or I don't know what they do over there. But
Ava is the oldest child, is that correct?
she is.
And she is 8 years old?
She is 9 now.
She's 9. And the children currently go to Gold Lake schools, is that correct?
They do, which is not in district for either of us.
And so there's 2 of the 3 children in school at the present time?
Yes.
And what grade is Ava in?
Ava is in 3rd grade.
And what grade is Everly in?
Everly is in kindergarten.
And distance-wise and location-wise, what is your preference as to where the children should go to school in the future based on the current locations of you and your husband?
I would prefer they go to Penfield schools. It's a closer drive, or it would be the same drive for him that he drives to Gull Lake, but it would be closer for me. Right now, I think I do 23 minutes one way to go to their school.
Okay. And are they going to be available for the Penfield School District either by school of choice or because of being in the district?
It would be school of choice.
Okay. And is there any particular reason that the children should not go to Penfield in your estimation?
No.
Okay. How is your health, physical health?
Good.
How is your mental health?
Good.
And have you ever been convicted of a crime?
I have not.
Has your husband been convicted of a crime?
There are DUIs and such, but other than that, I don't think.
Okay. And how long ago were the DUIs?
One of them would have been before we were together, and then the second was in 2015, I think.
And
Your Honor, I just want to object. I don't know if there's a foundation or how she would know that if Mr. Schaefer can lay that. I'm curious to see why she believes that.
Okay, well, let's, maybe you can address that, Mr. Schaefer.
well, I can, but that's certainly subject to cross-examination. How do you know that he's had 2 DUIs?
Because he didn't have a license for quite a while.
And did you have conversation with him concerning why he didn't have a license?
Of course.
And did he express to you that he had DUIs?
Yeah, I was with him. I was in a relationship with him when he got them.
Okay, so you were aware from personal knowledge that he was dealing with DUIs.
Of course.
And during the last year or 2 years, what has his drinking habits been?
Your Honor,
I just want to object on that. I don't know if that question is a little broad and maybe it encompasses times when these parties obviously have separated. So I don't know if she'd have a foundation to make to testify as that.
Well, if she has knowledge, then she can testify and you can cross-examine.
Yeah, thank you.
If you know what has his drinking habits been the last couple of years?
when I was living at the house, he was not drinking.
Okay. How are the kids doing in school?
They're doing good.
Okay.
They've missed a lot of school due to appointments and being sick this year, but good overall.
Okay. And do you believe that the children have a preference as to where they should be?
I do. I think.
Okay.
I'm going to object as to the rest of that response.
I'll sustain
I didn't ask any other question.
Okay. Well, she started to answer anyway, but ma'am, you can't say what the kids have told you about their preference.
Okay. Do the kids appear to be content and happy with you under the current schedule?
Yes.
Are you willing and have you encouraged the children to have a good relationship with their father?
Of course. And they're able to contact each other at all and any time.
And have you had difficulty when the children are at your husband's home to have a telephonic contact with them?
He will let me call them, but he will not allow me to text them at all. He shuts all that off.
Has he expressed to you why he will not allow you to text them?
He says it's not appropriate, but he also allows them to watch any type of YouTube or movies or anything else.
An objection as to a speculation, lack of foundation.
Again, if she can lay a foundation.
Okay. And how do you know that, other than what the children may have told you, that they get to watch YouTube and other things at his home?
I mean, their iPads go back and forth, and obviously they have internet at dad's. But their iPads go back and forth with them that I pay for every month.
Okay, so the kids have iPads, do they?
Yes, I paid for an iPad for each kid with their line on it so they can contact me.
All right, and so you're the sole support of those electronics, is that correct?
Yes.
And does your husband request that they go with the children when they go to his place?
I guess not really a request, but it's just they always go with the kids.
Okay. Has it come to your attention that the children are left alone at your husband's home?
2 separate occasions, Ava has turned back
Objection.
on.
Object that, I think she's getting into the hearsay here, Your Honor.
Your Honor, she hasn't said hearsay, and I don't anticipate she's going to say hearsay.
Okay, well, be careful with, again.
Okay, I understand. Have you received notification from your children they've been left alone?
Yes, on 2 separate occasions.
Okay. And have you talked to your husband about those circumstances?
He will deny them.
Okay. Did you have to deal with texts when your children were alone?
Yes, with Ava multiple times.
Does this concern you?
Of course.
Do you believe that children of the age of 8, 5, and 9, 5, and 2 are old enough to be left alone?
No.
Have you had that discussion with your husband?
I mean, I would think that's self-explanatory that they should not be left alone, so not really.
Okay. Has there been any domestic violence in your relationship?
No.
What is your desire as to a permanent order in relation to custody and parenting time with the 3 children?
I would like them to be with me as much as possible to keep everything consistent.
Is the current situation consistent in your opinion?
Yes, it's working where the kids are never in daycare and don't need to be babysat.
All right. Are you asking that be continued?
I am.
And and this is taken place for over the last year?
Yes.
Has your husband expressed to you any complaint about the current situation?
Yes, he complains that he doesn't have weekends, but we tried to mediate those in, but he was not willing.
Okay. And has he expressed to you that he's available for the children because of his self-employment during the time period that he has the children?
Yes, there's no work schedule for him.
And from your understanding, what is his employment?
He will have a family member or him purchase a house, and then he'll put money into it, and then they sell it and split the profits. So they all kind of flip together.
All right. And if in fact the judge feels that there should be a weekend availability, if you keep the same schedule, are you willing to give him the 5th weekend with adjustment of 1 more day for you during the week?
Of course.
Okay, Your Honor, I want to share a screen on an exhibit, and I've clicked and I've got host is disabled.
Yes. Try it again now, Mr. Schaefer. It should let you.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, remember what you did this time so you can duplicate it.
Okay. I'm referring to Exhibit 3, the Guarantor Ledger Report. Victoria, do you see that document?
I do.
And can you tell me what that document is?
This is part of the bills I have paid for the kids' dentist.
Okay, and this is in 2022, it appears, is that correct?
2, and then there should be more recent ones too.
Okay, and were the children in need of dental work?
Yes, they'd have multiple teeth pulled and crowns put in and all sorts of stuff.
And had you made that request that the dental work be done during the time that you and your husband were living together?
I was, but we did not have any type of insurance.
Okay. And your testimony is that you made all of the payments indicated on that document. Is that correct?
Yes.
I would offer 3 into evidence, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Meldovan?
No objection, Your Honor.
Okay. Plaintiff's Exhibit 3 will be admitted. There be no objection.
Okay. I guess, Your Honor, the next one is Exhibit 4. Okay. Victoria, do you see the ledger on Exhibit 4?
I do.
And what does that indicate?
More bills that I've paid for the dentist.
And is that for the year 2004, or at least April 2004?
Yes.
And have you made all those payments?
Yes,
And did you attend to those dental appointments with the children?
I did.
I have offer 4 into evidence, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Moldovan, any response?
No objection, Your Honor.
Okay. The plaintiff's Exhibit 4 will be admitted.
Victoria, back to the work schedule. If in fact the work schedule were to be changed, how would that affect your employment and your ability to be with the children?
I would have to try to find a different job on the schedule that whatever I get with them.
All right. And have either of you had full-time employment prior to your current full-time employment with Gallagher?
No, not for years.
And has your husband contributed back to the cost of the insurance of the $345 a month during this time that you've had that for the last year?
No.
No further question this time, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Moldovan, any cross-examination?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Your Honor. So Ms. Vavra, so your attorney just asked you about the cost of health insurance, and you indicated Jesse has not contributed towards that since you separated?
Correct.
What about when you separated your assets? Didn't we account for 1 year's worth of health insurance in that division?
No, not at all.
You received more money from the bank accounts than Jesse did, is that correct?
I don't think that is correct, no.
And you don't recall you guys discussing how much a year's worth of health insurance cost, and then Mr. Vavra including that amount in the calculation as an advance on the health insurance?
No.
Okay. So you asked, let's quickly go. So Exhibit 3 and Exhibit 4, those are dental bills for the kids
Yes.
that were admitted into evidence. Okay. Do you have a date that you presented those to Jesse for reimbursement?
I do not.
Have you ever sent those to Jesse and asking him to reimburse you for half those costs?
He always knows that we're going, but he does not agree that they need to go. So.
Okay. But in fact, you've never asked him to reimburse you for those costs?
No, because I know his answer.
Okay. What was your work? What is your current work schedule? I think Mr. Schaefer asked you that, but what is it? So what do you work on Sunday?
I don't work on Sunday.
Okay. And what do you work on Monday?
I don't work on Monday. I've changed the work schedule to not work Mondays.
Okay, and so you Sunday, Monday you don't work. So Tuesday you work from when to when?
Yep, I've changed the schedule to come in at 8:30, so that way Jesse can come get them after I get them ready for school.
Okay, so 8:30 a.m. you're at work, and then you work until late 5 o'clock or whenever.
Yeah, 5:30ish or whenever I can leave.
Okay, Wednesday, what's your work schedule?
It depends on the route I'm running.
Typical work schedule?
Anywhere from going in around 4 in the morning to 6 in the morning at the latest.
Okay, and then until sometime in the afternoon, I assume?
Yeah,
Right.
probably anywhere from 4:30 to 9, depending on the route.
Okay, and then Thursday, is that same schedule Thursday?
Same Thursday and same Friday.
And same Friday. On Fridays, are you able to get off early enough to like 3 o'clock?
I can be off early enough to pick them up from school, but Jesse will not allow me to pick them up from school.
Okay, so Jesse on Friday, under the current arrangement, Tuesday morning, Jesse comes to your home, picks up the 3 kids, and then takes them to school. And then the next time you see the kids will be Friday at 6 o'clock, or what time is it that you and Jesse meet to exchange?
He will allow me to pick them up at 4:20.
Okay, so Jesse takes the kids to and from school all day long, both times Tuesday, both times Wednesday, both times Thursday, and essentially both times on Friday currently, right?
I know he drops them off, but I also know his parents pick them up. So he might do half of the running.
And so it's someone other than you, right?
Right,
Okay, but under the current arrangement on a Monday, it's all you.
right.
Okay, so Mr. Schaefer asked you, you said, of course, you would be able to address or give him weekends if need be. Is that right?
Yes, we tried to mediate that multiple times.
Okay, and so you and he have discussed various parenting time schedules that's not exactly the same as what you're currently doing, correct?
I've tried other things, but I would have to get a different job to accommodate whatever that is.
Okay,
keep health
well, based on this, on your current schedule though, Fridays you're able to meet the kids after school, right?
Yep.
Okay, currently the Tuesday, you said you go in early,
Late.
but you were able to adjust your Monday, so Tuesday you're able to adjust to 8:30, right?
Yeah, so I can get them up and ready for school.
Okay, so you go to work later on Tuesday than you do Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Right.
Okay. And so in regards to other changes, what about week on, week off in the summer? Is there any issue with you guys sharing something that's consistent with the parenting time policy?
You're saying 1 week at my house and 1 week at his?
Yeah. Have you reviewed the Calhoun County parenting time policy?
I don't know if I have.
That's okay. Do you have you said you would accommodate a different schedule. Could you accommodate a week on, week off in the summertime?
No, I don't. There's no one to watch the kids.
Okay, well, during the time that you work, right?
Right.
So, if you had the kids on a day that you worked, would you put them in daycare possibly?
I guess they would probably have to go in daycare. That's why our current schedule keeps the kids completely out of daycare on both sides.
Okay. Do you have family in the area?
I do not, because I have to stay towards Skull Lake schools. So
Where's your family from?
I am trying to get back to Marshall.
Okay, so you have family in the area in Calhoun County in Marshall, right?
Right. About
Okay,
45 minutes away from Gull Lake, but yeah.
okay, but that's not necessarily from your home though. You live on Redner, right? Penfield Township?
Yes.
Okay. And that's not Penfield Schools. I think that's actually Battle Creek Central Schools.
Correct.
Okay, so if the court were to modify the school that your children will attend this fall, Penfield will still be a school of choice, right?
It would, but it'd be halfway.
You'd have to ask the court or the school to allow their enrollment.
Right.
Okay, similar to what you did with Gull Lake, right?
Right.
Okay, so let's go back to that schedule. And I think did you guys discuss flip-flopping the schedule where you would have all the weekdays and Jesse would have all the weekends?
I did. I
Okay.
was going to take a weekend job and work 3 12 shifts, and then I could be with the kids 5 days a week, and he can have all the weekends.
Okay, so you have the flexibility that you could work that schedule into play, right?
I mean, I'll need to quit my job and apply for another one, but yes, I would be willing to try that to keep
So-
them assured.
So your job, you said you are employed by Gallagher Uniform, right?
Yep, and I'm a real estate agent. Yes,
Okay. And you still maintain your realtor license?
I do.
Okay. And when you and Mr. Vavra were together, you were the realtor and it helped market these homes that you guys would flip, right?
Right, one every couple of years, maybe. Yeah,
Okay. All right. So you have income from that job, right?
most of the years we claimed losses, so no, not income, but I had a license.
But you have the ability to work for a brokerage and to pursue realty full time. Right.
All real estate agents work under a brokerage, but yes, that's currently what I'm doing.
Okay. And you are under a brokerage right now?
Yes, you have
Okay.
to be.
So you could, and obviously realtors don't have set hours, do they?
They also don't have health insurance.
Okay. But that's something that's certainly available to purchase, isn't it?
Yeah, and Dad could purchase that as well.
Good, I think, and that's an option as well, right?
If he wants to go get a job or purchase that, which is
All right.
not going to be affordable, but yes.
So you made that, you proposed flip-flopping the parenting time schedule so that Dad would have every weekend and you would have all the weekdays. Do you believe that's in the best interest of the kids?
I think it definitely could be, as long as I
Okay.
can make that job happen.
And so with a different schedule, I think one of the schedules we proposed was a 2-2-5-5 schedule. Do you recall that?
I'm gonna consistently go to work with a 2-2-5-5
Okay.
schedule and
Well-
keep the kids out of a daycare.
So, let me think about this. So right now, during the school year, you get Friday afternoon, Saturday and Sunday, Monday, and then Tuesday morning, right?
Correct.
Okay, so if you did a 2-2-5-5 schedule, let's just say your days were Monday and Tuesday, okay? Currently you get Monday, right?
Right.
Okay, so Tuesday, that would be the only difference is instead of you only having the kids till 8:30 in the morning, you would be responsible for that extra day. Is that right? If you did a 2-2-5-5?
Well, I'm at work, but then I lose the weekend.
Okay, well, but you still get a weekend, right? Because if you have your 5-5, you would get Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. There's your 5 days. You understand that schedule?
I understand. I just think with all the flexibility that he has and not having to pay any of those bills, it is in best interest of the kids, and they have most time with both parent as it is now.
Okay, well, but you did make these other proposals too, that is a different schedule than as it is right now, right?
Right, and you guys rejected all that.
And you're willing to accommodate, of course, to give him weekend time, right?
Right,
Okay,
every
so,
weekend.
so think about that 2-2-5-5 schedule that I asked you about. Right? So if we look at 2 weeks, all right, here you would have week 1, let's just say Monday, Tuesday, right? So the
Well, I
difference
said
there,
Monday because I will be working Tuesday, but yes.
yeah, all right, and then he would have Wednesday and Thursday. And let's just say that it's your weekend, so you'd have Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, there's your 5. Okay, so in that 2-week schedule, you had the kids 2 days on Monday, Tuesday, and then 5 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, right?
Right.
Okay, so the only difference from what you're currently doing for that 2 week is the Tuesday making it an overnight. You see that?
I just think
I
what we have.
don't think that is accurate for what he's suggesting, but it'll be whatever it is.
For that time, for that week and a half that I just described, the only change there is the Tuesdays, right? Basically,
I mean, I don't think so, but
that's fine. So I'll move on, but you're certainly willing to consider other arrangements, right?
yeah, we've tried.
Okay. And, if we're looking at the school year, so if you had the kids on Monday, you would take them to school and they have school, right? And you pick them up after school. That's what you do.
Right.
Okay. So Tuesday you would take them to school and then pick them up, right?
While I'm at work. yeah, I understand the idea of it, but I would be unavailable.
Okay, so when you and Mr. Vavra separated, is it true that the actual schedule was where Jesse had Monday overnight, Tuesday overnight, Wednesday overnight, and Thursday overnight, and then you had Friday, Saturday, Sunday? Is that correct?
For a couple weeks until I negotiated with work.
So that's correct, right?
For a
Yes.
couple weeks, not
Okay.
a long amount of time.
So you did that for a couple weeks for your testimony, and then you changed that, so instead you started having them Tuesday overnight, right? No, Monday
Correct.
overnight, Monday overnight.
Right.
Yeah, but you still weren't able to you still had relied on Jesse to get the kids to their school on Tuesday morning. Yes, okay. Which requires Jesse to obviously make sure he's available Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, right?
No, but his parents do half the running, but yes, he's available for the morning.
What's that? What'd you say? Sorry.
I said his parents do half of the running of the kids
Okay.
to school. So yeah, he takes them to school.
Okay, and his parents who live next door or in the same area as Jesse and the kids?
Right.
And this is where you lived when you guys were together?
Yes, for a few
And
years.
it's like this family compound that his brother lives next door and his parents live.
His brother doesn't live in the state, but he owns a house next door.
Oh,
But he's
okay.
lived in North Dakota for years.
Okay, and this is where you obviously lived for a number of years while the kids were there.
Right.
Right, okay. You've never, since you've separated, you guys have never been to court over a parenting time dispute, right? Other than this one.
Right.
You've never filed any complaints that the kids are being neglected or somehow not being properly cared for during dad's time.
No, I've not filed complaints, no.
Right. You never contacted CPS, Child
No.
Protective Services? No. In fact, there's been no court action. You guys have been able to work and deal with the child parenting time schedule for the most part, but for a permanent schedule, right?
Right.
Okay. Now, when you guys went from Jesse having that Monday night overnight and you moved it to you keeping the kids for that longer weekend, that's been an area of contention all along, hasn't it?
I mean, it wasn't at the beginning.
Okay, but Jesse has repeatedly asked you for a different schedule, right?
Right.
And you've reassured him multiple times that you would consider another schedule.
Not necessarily another schedule. But we tried to mediate a weekend in there with the same schedule that we have now.
Okay, and did you also propose that where if you got the weekdays, you would want a weekend at some point in time, right?
No, that's not what we put in there. I would have them 5 days a week and Jesse could have weekends because that was his main complaint is he had no weekends. So we tried that as well.
Okay, so you would be okay with a schedule that would not give you any weekends with the kids?
I would if I had them 5 days a week.
Okay, and but based on where you currently work, you don't have the flexibility that built in to get them to school 5 days a week, do you?
No, I'll have to change jobs.
So you become a realtor full-time or work somewhere else that provides insurance?
Right, realtors don't have insurance. So yes, I would have to find another job that provided insurance, unless Jesse wants to provide that full-time.
Okay. So, and again, your kid's Ava is 9 now.
Correct.
She's finished up 3rd grade. Will we start 4th grade next year?
Right.
Okay. Everly is 6, so she's just mentioned kindergarten, be 1st grade next year? Yes.
Yep.
And then Eli is 3.
Yes.
Okay. So you guys have been separated since January of 2023, so about a year and a half.
Right.
Okay, so over that past year and a half, the kids have been going back and forth to your house and to his house, right?
Right.
All right, so Mr. Schaefer, your attorney asked you about your house. You purchased this house after you and Jesse separated?
Right.
And square footage wise, is it similar in size to the house that you lived in with Jesse?
It was definitely bigger, but I mean, it's not way bigger.
Okay. And
100 square feet bigger.
who lives there with you?
Just my kids and me.
Okay. You, I think, I thought I heard you say you do not have a boyfriend currently. Is that true?
That is true.
Who's Mario Burns?
Mario Burns is someone I was dating.
Up until when?
For a little while. Maybe a month and a half ago, maybe.
You're not dating him any longer?
No, it is not anyone I'm seeing.
Okay. Prior to you date, how long did you date him for?
I mean, I don't know if I would really consider it dating, but I don't know. I'm not sure.
The kids have met him, right?
Right, they have.
And he stayed over at the house while the kids were there?
No, they just never stayed at the house when the kids were present.
Okay.
When the kids are at the house, they are the only ones at the house.
Were you guys Mother's Day weekend? Was he around?
Yes, he was.
All right. And the kids were around?
Yes,
Okay. But you haven't been with him since, is what you're telling me?
correct.
So Mother's Day weekend was 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, whenever.
Okay. But you just said you haven't dated him for a month and a half, but
Okay, I'm
Oh.
throwing out a number, but yes, since Mother's Day weekend then.
okay, so 2 weekends ago.
Right.
Okay. So now you said it takes you about 15 to 20 minutes to get to Richland School, the Lake Schools?
23.
23 minutes?
Right.
Is that to the elementary school?
That is to Ryan Intermediate.
Okay, so that's where your oldest will be going next year, right?
She goes there this year, but yes.
Oh, okay, but your youngest goes to Hickory, Kellogg? Okay, so that's actually, I would say, closer to your house, right? You pass through Hickory Corners to get to John Ryan, right?
No, you don't pass through Hickory Corners to go there, but
Is it on the way?
no, it's not on the way, but I drop her off first. Go on a main road and cut down right a couple miles and then come back and then you drive all the way to Ryan.
Okay, but this was a school that you guys agreed to enroll them in 2021, right?
Right, yeah, we did school of choice.
Sorry, probably, I meant 2020, actually, right?
Right, they've always went there.
They've always gone to school there, all right, and in fact, there's the family here has a pretty, deep connection to the Lake Schools, is that fair to say?
Jesse's parents had taught there, so that's why they wanted them to go there. So that's what we
Yeah.
did.
Besides that, is his dad went there, right? Jesse went there, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Uncles, cousins, they all graduated from the Lake Schools, right?
Right.
Both of his parents were teachers there, at the school, and principal, administrator?
Yeah,
Okay. And you worked there, didn't you?
I drove a school bus there for a few months.
So I believe did you reach out to the school superintendent at one point in time regarding the school of choice election?
Of course, because I dealt with all the kids' stuff. I was a stay-at-home mom, so of course I got them into Go Lake schools.
Okay, so I'm gonna show you what I marked as exhibit, looks like C maybe. This is when I get to show my technology inefficiencies, so.
Good luck.
All right, I think I see something here. Hey, Your Honor, any chance we can take like a 10-minute break right now? I gotta figure this out because I can't get that to open for some reason.
Okay, well, as you're doing that, I guess I'll just have you check too. I don't have any of your exhibits, Mr. Moldovan.
Print, but I did check they are in the file.
No, okay.
Are they? I know we sent them a few weeks ago. I can tell you exactly, but.
Well, just so you know that case scheduling orders provides that I have to have paper copies to be provided to the court, so.
There wasn't a paper copy that was delivered?
No, if you file the paper copy, you file them with the clerk's office, but not with my office, so.
Oh, I think that's maybe what happened. I know I had a runner from Battle Creek bring them in there, so that's why.
Okay. So I'm just saying for your purposes, they may be in the computer someplace, but I don't have them, so.
Gotcha.
For
Okay.
what it's worth.
We'll
Why
get-
don't we take a 10-minute recess and, you can work that out as far as getting your exhibits.
Okay.
All right, very good. We'll pause the record here for a moment.
Okay. Mr. Olivan, did you were able to, get the,
I was. It took me. I figured out you had to click on this mouse. Apparently, there's a mouse. So I got it.
your technological geniuses are.
For sure. So,
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. So, going back, I think I kind of skipped over this earlier. So, Victoria, when you guys separated, you worked out this schedule, right?
The one that said NA case.
You're muted.
Sorry, thank you. Yes, right.
Okay. And if you were to look at the overnights based on the current arrangement you're doing, you have 4 overnights and Jesse has 3, right? Each week.
Right.
Okay. But if you were to take if you were to ignore the overnights and look at the 24 hours a day schedule, you pick them up you get them in the afternoon on Friday, right?
Right.
And you have them all day on Saturday and all day on Sunday and all day on Monday.
Okay.
Okay, and then Tuesday morning, right? So until 8 o'clock, let's say. So if I took that half day on Friday and the Tuesday morning, let's say that's 20 hours, and then the other 3 days, how many hours is that? 24 plus 24 is 48 plus 24 is
Your
17.
Honor, I'm not sure what the relevance of this is. It's more argumentative than anything else.
Mr. Mullivan, how is it relevant? I mean, we've heard what the overnights are, et cetera. I don't care if we're coming down to, 1 hour here or there or something of that nature. I'm not going to decide on that basis.
Your Honor, yeah, I understand. I think the relevance of it was just to kind of show that the parties kind of just split the week in half, and essentially that's what their schedule is. But I'm happy to move on, and I'll ask Ms. Vavra that question. She can answer it. Great. Is that fair to say that if you looked at the week right now, it's essentially shared equally?
No, I would not say, but
Because you think what? Why?
because I have them an extra night. I get them ready for school in the morning. It's just not the same amount of time, but
Okay.
anyway.
So, well, let's look at school nights. If there's homework to do, you have to do school night homework with them on Monday night, possibly?
Right. Ava normally comes home with a giant thing of homework on Monday. That's not due till the next Monday. So we save it, and then when she comes back to me on Friday, we work on it Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and turn it back in on Monday.
Okay.
And
That's obviously unless it was already done with Ava and father, right?
Well, the first month or so we did this schedule, it wasn't getting turned in. So the teacher contacted me, said this is not getting turned in. So I said, I will make sure it gets done. So then I started keeping it on Mondays to make sure it got done. But yes.
What was the name of the teacher who contacted you?
This is Mrs. Angel, and she
When did she do
contacted me on class dojo when we first separated and started the schedule.
What was that answer again? Dojo? What was that? That's her
Yeah,
name.
that's how the teacher messages me. It's like texting, but it's for teachers.
So you have a text message or a message from the teacher that says the homework's not getting turned in. We need to work on this.
I do.
And that was
when I
from.
started keeping the homework at my house, and we did it over the weekends.
So that was way back when you first separated.
Right.
Okay. And obviously there's no complaints since then.
No, we've got it done.
So you indicated that Mother's Day weekend you and Mr. Burns were together with the kids,
Correct.
and in fact you guys ran into Dad at the Horrocks, right?
Yes, we did.
And Mr. Burns did he threaten Jesse and get in an altercation with him?
They talked. I do not think that he threatened him, but
Threatened him to the point where you texted Jesse to tell him to be wary, stay away from him.
I did text him that he was not a happy camper and probably shouldn't be around each other.
fact that you were concerned that Mr. Burns had made some statements that indicated he may want to do harm to Jesse?
Right, they were both at each other in Horrocks, so that was the last of any type of contact with him.
And that was in front of the children?
Right, the children were with us.
The kids were hugging dad, when this was going on?
Well, the problem was I was also in the restroom for most of it. I walked out and that was what I walked into.
All right, I'll move on. You had said that there was two, since you've separated, there was two separate occasions that you can recall where you believe the kids were left alone when they were at dad's house, right?
Yes, there's three. The
Okay.
first one Ava talked about, but I only have messages from Ava.
Okay, when
The second
did the first time occur? Do you have a date or do you recall?
I want to say it was in February. The second time is definitely April 11th.
Okay, so February of last year or February of this year?
Would be this year.
So a few months ago.
Right,
Okay, February 2024, and then you said April, what did you say, 11th?
April 11th.
What year, ma'am?
This year.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, and again, you said this is because of a text message you got from Ava?
Right. Ava
Okay,
was saying that Jesse had went to a gas
Alright.
station, which is 10 minutes away.
I would just ask that the court, strike that the hearsay response, was non-responsive to my question.
I'll strike whatever she stated that the defendant had said, or what the child had said.
Thank you, Your Honor. When was the third time, Victoria?
No, so the first was something Ava just mentioned to me. So the first, I don't have any record of. The second two, I do.
Okay, I'm not asking for a record, I'm asking for a time. When did this other instance occur?
So the first one would have been prior to February, would have been
Okay.
before that. I don't know when, but
All right, so there was an incident before February of this year and one before the April 11th one, okay? And you indicated these were because you received text messages from your oldest daughter?
right.
Okay. Did you reach out to dad in response to, you're getting notified that the children are alone?
I'm sure we talked about it. I don't remember how I reached out to him.
Well, if you were
I did definitely
concerned,
reach out to him. The April 11th time, I definitely called him and asked him, I said, can you have the kids give me a call?
okay, and this was on April 11th?
Right. And
What transpired? What happened then?
after I asked him to give me a call,
Yeah,
he texted that the kids are fine, and then instantly Ava responds with, we're fine.
I don't
Dad
mean-
didn't go anywhere.
again, I'm not asking what she said, I was asking what transpired. So he texted you or called you,
Ava?
Jesse?
No,
Okay,
Jesse didn't call me.
Ava texted you?
Ava had texted me, that's how it all started.
Were you able to interact with them in another form than text messages?
Not that night, no.
Okay.
Not that I recall. I don't remember getting to call them after that.
In fact, did you get a text back from Jesse that said I had never left, that Jesse had never left?
Oh, he might have said that, but I mean, if Ava thinks he's gone.
Okay, but in fact, you got a text from Ava.
What's that?
You received a text from your daughter indicating that Jesse had not left, right?
Yeah, after he knew that we were talking. So then he
Okay.
had to text me that, oh, this never happened.
Okay.
Well, there was
But
multiple texts and
You
multiple minutes
didn't
of.
drive, sorry.
Your Honor, they're talking over each other. I can't,
Yeah, let's ask or answer your question, then stop so that the other person can respond.
Yeah, I apologize. That was me jumping the gun. Victoria, you didn't contact his parents or go to the house, did you?
No, I told Ava to give him 10 more minutes and then I would head that way.
Okay, but obviously you didn't need to do that.
Right.
You have a text message to Ava that says, if he's not there in 10 minutes, I'm on my way.
Yes, I have all her texts.
You have that text message that says that, what you just testified about?
I should. I think it's in our,
Okay, so you personally did not confirm that the children were alone, you're just relying upon this information that was
My
given
9-year-old.
by the children? Okay. And that's Ava only, right?
Yeah, I mean, my 6-year-old and 3-year-old cannot text.
Okay, so the 6-year-old and 3-year-olds, they don't text?
No,
Okay, and the fact they really can't read either, right?
no.
Okay, is that why Jesse has complained about why the kids should not have the ability to text because only one of them can read? And in fact,
Your Honor, I guess that's asking for a reason of his own client. There's no basis that my client knows that.
Well, if she knows, if he's given her that response.
You have to ask the question again.
that's fine. So when you guys have had a dispute regarding the electronic devices that the children have access to?
Right.
Is during that dispute is one of the reasons that Jesse gives you is that only Ava can read, so there's really no benefit of you texting. Why don't you call? Is that fair?
I do both. I like to be able to just shoot to her a text and tell them good night, love them, which I don't see a problem with.
Do you think it's fair that a parent should have the ability to put restrictions on cell phones and electronic devices for children?
Yes, any social media type of stuff, or maybe any contact from people who are not family members, but mom and dad, no.
Okay, well, I mean, do you think a 6-year-old is responsible enough to have a cell phone of her own?
It has YouTube on it and she can text just me, so yes.
So, but she can text anyone if she types a number in, right? There's no
Yeah, she
restriction.
could take a random number to someone and send a text, I guess. Anyone could.
So it's certainly reasonable for a parent to restrict or limit the access that children have to the internet and those kind of devices, right?
Yes, but not to their mom.
Okay. But you don't have any specific instances where Jesse has denied you or blocked you from contacting the children, do you?
Every single time the iPads go to his house, texting is turned off. So anytime I send Ava a message, it says rejected or not received.
Okay.
So yes, he does restrict that in that manner. He'll allow me to call them on speakerphone so he can hear what's going on, which is fine, whatever. But no, I cannot text them at all.
Doesn't now a phone conversation with a 9-year-old, a 6-year-old, a 3-year-old, if it's on speakerphone, doesn't that allow a couple kids or more than one child to hear the conversation as well?
Of course.
So, I mean, it could be mommy's calling to talk to the kids, hear kids, take the phone. That possibility?
Yeah, that's normally what we
Okay.
do.
All right. Now you testified that dad had a conviction for OWI. You said DUI. That's what you said.
DUI is one OWI and one DUI. But yeah, however you want to differentiate them.
And you recall he was convicted of these offenses?
I mean, we spent $20,000 in lawyers for them and he lost his license, but
All right.
yes.
So do you know if it was actually a reckless driving conviction, not a OWI or drunk driving?
I don't know what it was convicted of.
Okay, it's fine. Now, but he does not drink anymore, to your knowledge, right?
To my knowledge, no.
Okay. You continue to drink, right?
Yeah, as most all adults.
Okay. Now, do most all adults have to have their soon-to-be ex-husband drive them around for their work job because they drank too much?
I do. What's your question?
I guess I object to the question. I didn't understand.
Okay, I'll ask a different question. It's fine. Has Jesse had to drive you during your work because you've been too intoxicated?
No.
So if he testified that he's had to do that on occasion or in the past, that you're saying that there's no basis for that?
No. Has he had to drive me to work because I've drank?
Work with her in the car while you've been too intoxicated to drive?
No.
Not ever?
No.
Okay. What about when you were working together with the business?
I'm confused onto what you're even talking about.
Okay, that's fine. You're telling the court that Jesse's never had to drive you around because you've been too intoxicated to drive.
For work? Yeah, of course not.
Okay. What about other times?
No. That's,
Has there ever been a time that you've driven around with the kids in the car and there's been drinking going on?
no,
What about cans or drinks, alcoholic drinks being in the vehicle while the kids are in the car?
no.
Okay. Now, if the court were to modify the schedule to that 2255 schedule, one of the complaints you had was that Tuesdays would be an issue for you in regards to if the kids had to go to daycare. Is that what you said earlier?
Yeah, we would have to find daycare, and I would like the kids to not be in daycare. I think that would be best for the kids and me and Jesse.
And that's something that you and Jesse had actually discussed previously about not wanting to rely on daycare, not wanting to put the kids in daycare if you can avoid it, right?
Right.
And so, if Jesse were to say that he could try to help out on that day, would that alleviate that concern? Maybe Jesse provides the daycare for your youngest before school, and then he's in school, and then, that wouldn't be an
And
issue.
go straight to their house, so just it gives him an extra day. Right now, I have adequate time with them.
Well, I'm only looking at more of a daycare kind of situation, alternative, let's say. If he were to provide that, is that?
Yes, if we change the schedule, then I would need daycare, but right now I don't need that as the schedule is.
Okay. But again, we're only talking about that Tuesday day if we change the schedule, right?
Right.
Okay. Now, I was asking you before our break about the school, and so Ava has gone to school there her whole academic career,
Yep, through third grade.
and she's been doing well academically.
Yeah.
Okay. And your middle child Everly has been in kindergarten, right? Doing well.
Right.
Okay. By going to school that many years, they've developed or formed friendships with other classmates. Is that fair to say?
Yeah. And
Okay. I'm going to show you what now. I'm going to show you what I marked as. Your Honor, do you need me to have my assistant email those exhibits to you, or somehow get you a paper copy too? That
No, we decided that once we get in admitted, then the ones that are admitted, we'll copy them off and I'll have those.
Yeah,
Okay.
just for clarification, Your Honor has been going by the letter of the orders, and this is non-compliance with the orders, so I just wanted to know if there's a dispensation for this, but not for something else.
Okay, well, make your objection if you
My
have.
objection is that if the orders haven't been followed, then the exhibit should not be in.
Okay, Mr. Moldovan, what's your response?
I guess is that in regards to the court not having a paper copy or the timing of it?
Yes, I think that's the point I'm trying to make.
Okay. Again, Your Honor, I would say I believe the court has the exhibits in their possession. They were provided, within a reasonable time period. If anything, it may be an inconvenience, but certainly Mr. Schaefer has had exhibits for as long as they've been filed. So I think given the nature of these exhibits, they're relevant. They should be admitted.
Your Honor, the only response is that he had all of the exhibits on the property matter. We had done that through mediation also. So if that is not an excuse for that, I don't think his excuse of not complying with the order is a dispensation here.
Okay, well, what I'm gonna do is, I always do, is enforce the orders as written. It says that the paper copy will be provided to my office. It was not done. So the court will not admit those that were not complied with the case scheduling order. Mr. Moldovan, you can still ask questions about those, just
Sure.
not admit them.
Okay. So then that's fine. So let me find my exhibit here. So I think let's see on the screen.
yes,
Okay. Can you identify what this is?
when we decided to put the kids in, take them out of Delton Kellogg and put them into Gull Lake, I did the paperwork, obviously, to do that.
Okay. And why I have it here, I'm gonna also show you the second page here, which Can you identify this page too? Is this the same thing, but for the following year?
Right, I had to do it every single year to keep her in it.
And you in fact did it again this most recent year, correct?
This most recent year, because yes, I want to make sure my kids can go to school regardless of how this turns out. So yes, to
Okay.
preventative measures, I took care of that.
So they've been, and in actuality, Jesse also submitted the same paperwork to your knowledge. Is that true?
I have no idea if he did or not. We have
Okay.
not talked about it.
So you requested that the court allow the children to be enrolled in, okay, again, I guess, Your Honor, I would move that these exhibits be admitted, but I understand the court's ruling, so,
I object for reasons stated, Your Honor. Number one, not compliance with the court order.
Okay. Well, again, the court will not admit the exhibits because they did not comply with the case scheduling order. Notwithstanding that, I think, obviously, Mr. Moldovan, you've gotten the answers in that would, again, address the exhibits, so they're probably somewhat duplicative in that particular regard.
yeah, I think so, thank you. So, Victoria, you did request that, you did believe that it was in the children's best interest that they attend, Gull Lake schools, right?
For where we were all living at the time, yes. But
And in
not-
fact, oh, go ahead,
yes.
sorry.
At the time I did.
Okay, and at the time you were living at the Dowling address on Bristol Oak Street, right?
Right.
All right, and in fact, that your rationale or your request to allow this enrollment was because of what you testified there. The Ava has comfort and familiarity with the school. You have family ties to the school, a rich history there at those schools, right?
No, objection. She didn't testify to that, Your Honor.
Well, what part of it did she testify to, Mr. Schaefer?
About the family connections, and basically everything that he just asked. She did not testify to that. She said that she did paperwork to get them into Gull Lake, but that did not testify.
If I may, I believe I did ask those questions regarding the family, uncle, grandparents, or, Mr. Vavra's parents were being an administrator and teachers and even Miss Vavra working there, for a period of time. I believe I did.
He asked those questions, but he never asked that's why she wanted them in Gull Lake school. That's argumentative.
Okay,
We'll let the record speak for itself. He did ask about those particular family ties, et cetera, and she in fact acknowledged that. So I guess if we want to get into again a dispute over the basis for the enrollment, then we'll have to do that. But I don't think that's the question before her now.
okay. Thank you. So again, this was a decision that you believed was in your children's best interest at the time, right?
At the time for the address that we were living at, yes. But that's not
And
the case anymore.
What,
But yes.
Mr. Jesse still lives at that address, right?
Yeah, he does. But now my address has changed. So
But you also made that decision since you've separated and established that house on Redner, right?
I did that in case I could not move their district. That's just
You did
taking
it.
care of normal
Okay,
mom
so-
responsibilities.
So you did it last year, right?
Right.
And you did it again just most recently, right?
Yes, just in
Okay.
case.
And you would have done it right after you separated, if you separated in January of 2022, 23, January 2023,
Yeah.
right? So you did it at least twice since then, right?
Yeah, it's the kids'
Okay.
school I do it every year.
And you bought that house on Redner when you separated?
Right.
Yeah, okay. So your concern now is there's a drive that you have, right?
I guess my main concern with the school district is that I am moving back to Marshall, and Penfield is exactly halfway between Marshall and Jesse's address.
Okay, so right now you live on Redner, right? And now you say you're gonna move to Marshall?
That is the plan.
When is your plan to move to Marshall?
Hopefully in the next few months after I figure all this out.
Where are you looking at renting a house, purchasing a house? What are you looking at?
Purchasing a house.
With whom?
with myself.
Okay, so you would sell the current house?
Right.
Okay, and move to a new home in Marshall?
I mean, that's what I would like to do, but obviously that depends on all this.
Okay, so, now the kids have, besides the Redner house that you lived in since you separated, previously you lived together in the Bristol Oak Street address, right?
Correct.
Okay, you know, how long have you worked as a realtor?
I have had my license for maybe 3 years.
Okay. Is that house desirable despite what you've testified about?
As into what?
I object to the question, not clear.
Yeah, clarify if you would, Mr. Moldovan.
It's lake property, right?
Jesse's house?
Yes.
Yes, his parents' house is on the lake.
Okay, so let's focus on that house that you and Mr. and Jesse lived in together with the children, okay?
Right.
It's on a lake?
Mhm.
Right? Yes? Okay, and this kitchen sink that you talked about that the kids had to bathe in, it's not your normal kitchen sink, it's a large basin, is that fair?
Yeah, it's a kitchen sink. Yeah.
Okay, but it's not like something I can put a dish in, it's larger than that.
Yeah, it's a regular sized kitchen sink.
And you guys bathed the kids in the kitchen sink before, right?
Yes. Yep, I had to do it for years.
All right, and there's bathroom facilities in this house.
Yep, there's definitely a toilet.
Okay, yep, and there's a shower
Mhm.
that you used when you were there?
Yep.
And everyone uses the shower?
Yep, Jesse and I did.
So your complaint was that kids should have a bathtub?
Yeah, they should.
And you said Jesse's parents lived real close by. How close?
2 houses down.
Okay, and this is kind of a small little neighborhood right around the lake?
Right.
Okay, so it's not uncommon to go down to that house to do laundry if need be?
I mean, I don't think it's an ideal situation, but yeah, if you take your laundry to the neighbors and do it, you could do it. And so we
Okay.
did.
And if needed for a bath time, you could certainly use their bathtub, right?
Yes, you can use your family's bathtub
And you lived in the house together for how long?
for a few years.
Okay, so it was clearly adequate for you guys to live there for a few years, right?
Right.
Okay, so essentially, if you, let's say for more than half your daughter Ava's life, you guys have lived in that house? Or she has lived in that house, I should say?
Yes.
How old do you think she was when you guys moved into that address?
I don't know, maybe 3, 4. I don't know. I don't
Okay.
remember.
All right, so at least 5 or 6 years, last 5 or 6 years, that's been her home for both of you for what period of time, and then her home with dad for a period of time, right?
Right.
Okay, and just for the last year and a half, or the last years when you have had the Redner house, right?
Right.
Okay. But yet you still say you're the one who's providing a stable home environment?
Yes.
All right, besides Mr. Burns, who else have you dated since you separated?
Nobody.
Okay, so the kids have never met anyone else, any other people in your life?
No.
Okay, and you had said that the breakdown of the marriage was because you guys were fighting over where to live and who could provide health insurance and
Health insurance, jobs, anything to that manner. Yes.
what about infidelity?
No.
So there was infidelity was not the reason for the breakdown?
No, it was not.
Okay, so the fact that you were having an affair with someone you worked with was not the reason for the separation?
No, it was not. Once I knew we were separating is when I went out and got a full-time job because I realized that I was going to need to buy a house.
Okay. And that's eventually when you started up this other relationship?
And then a few months later, yes, I would not call it a relationship, but it was a friend.
Okay, that's fine. So do you and Jesse attend the school functions together?
We have attended one conference together.
Okay. Medical appointments together?
Typically I do them.
Okay, so even when they're scheduled during the week?
I schedule them all on Mondays.
Okay, and you're able to do that, so you're flexible enough to do that on Mondays?
Right, because my day off is Monday.
Okay, so you don't, and your day off is also Saturday, Sunday, right?
Yeah, but doctors are not typically open that day unless it's urgent care, but yes.
So, do you think, and with respect to the holidays, that it's fair to share the holidays or rotate the holidays so that each of you can have time with the kids?
Right. Yeah, I think that's fair. That was not our current schedule. We had been going on all year though.
So historically, and this issue we had a problem with for Christmas was, historically, you guys have just followed whichever day it is. If it's not, we kind of ignored the holiday. Is that fair?
Right.
Okay.
It's simple, where the kids aren't bouncing around back and forth.
Yeah,
And-
but moving forward, you think you would support the holiday schedule that allows you guys to rotate those major holidays?
Right.
Okay. And you have 3 children, right?
Correct.
All right. And you're not currently pregnant, right?
No.
Okay. And I only asked that because that's one of the questions that the court can establish to do proofs, and not because I think you might be pregnant. Okay. Now, if you and Jesse were to decide who can claim the child tax exemptions for the children, well, let's say for this 2023, did you file taxes?
Yes, I did.
File married separate or married joint?
These last taxes I filed separately.
Okay, and so did you claim, which children did you claim for 2023?
I talked to my accountant and my lawyer at the time, and they said since I have them for more overnights, that I claim all 3. So that is what I did.
Okay, so you claim all 3 for 2023?
Yes, the most recent taxes, I claimed all 3.
Okay, now, moving forward, are you willing to consider a different allocation of those exemptions?
No, if I still have 4 nights, I'm still providing all their health insurances and most bills, I would like to continue to claim all 3.
Okay, if Jesse were to propose to you an arrangement that allowed you guys to rotate that equally, like each of you claim 1, and then one claims 2, the other one claims 1, and the next year it rotates. Is that something you
I
would?
think if they're with me for more overnights, then I will still claim all 3.
Okay.
I think that makes sense.
That's fine, that's fair. So, now, do you provide lunches for the kids on Monday and Tuesday?
On Monday and Tuesday, yes.
Okay, and Jesse provides for the other days,
Yes, the other 3 days.
presumably, right? Okay. Now, is your work, just tell me what you do for Gallagher, like are you at an office, are you on the road, what do you do?
I'm a route specialist, so I know all the different routes, and then I fill in for a different route every day, whatever needs to be filled in.
So
I
you're
drive a truck.
you're driving?
Yep, I do a truck.
Okay. So if you're out on a route, and where do the routes take you? Typically, where would be a normal route, or?
They're anywhere. Lansing, Battle Creek.
So they're not all just in the local Battle Creek area. There's some could be as far north as Lansing, east and west, things like that, right?
Right.
Okay. So if the school were to call and say, hey, it's Monday or Tuesday, one of the kids are sick, would you have the ability to get there and get them, or would you have to contact Jesse to see if he was available?
I would. I feel like it's the same for every parent at work. They would have to call someone else. But yes, I would contact Jesse or his dad or my mom or my dad.
Okay.
Someone
if you couldn't do it, right?
Correct.
If you couldn't do it, okay. So do you think it's reasonable that you and Jesse can continue to co-parent and work on those communication things?
Right. I think what we have right now is working fine.
In regards to communication?
I think, yeah.
Okay. You're aware, obviously, that Jesse's asking for a different parenting time schedule, right?
Right.
All right. So, and you obviously said that you would you would consider a different schedule if it was appropriate, right?
Mhm.
You recognize the importance of weekend time with the kids?
Right, which is why we offered the 1 weekend a month.
Okay. Would you be satisfied with 1 weekend a month?
No, but being a stay-at-home mom all the years, I feel like they should be with me more. But
Well, you said you went back to full-time job at Gallagher right before you separated, right?
right, obviously I needed a house and they need health insurance.
That was about 2 years ago, give or take.
A couple
Year and a half.
months before, yeah, right. Couple months before we separated.
When did you start working at Gallagher? You think it was September, October, November?
October.
October?
Mhm.
So October of 2022? Right?
Yes,
So before that, though, you weren't necessarily a stay-at-home mom, you were a realtor, right?
for Jesse's flip houses.
Okay. And Jesse previously had worked for the emergency response. You did that as well?
Yeah, we did that years ago.
Okay. When did you start doing that? 2010-ish?
I think I started there in 2013.
Okay. So you were doing that when Ava was born?
Yep, we did that until
COVID?
no, I wasn't really working even up to COVID, but
You had a source of income during those first years of the kids' lives, right? You weren't just,
we both in and out had a month here, a month there, but typically Jesse worked and then I stayed at home with the kids. Typically.
Okay. So I think Mr. Schaefer asked you this, work has accommodated this parenting time schedule for you, right?
Right.
So what's changed? The 8:30 start date on Tuesday, is that the accommodation?
The accommodation was that I needed Mondays off permanently, which as a route specialist, I'm supposed to sub. So I really need to be able to work all the days. But I told them it was either that I had to quit and be with my kids or I needed Mondays off consistently so I could have them in 4 consecutive days. And that I also not only needed that, but that I needed to come in on Tuesdays late so I can get them up and around for school and out the door.
Okay.
So they
Now,
accommodate both of those things.
and so then on Thursday, I think you said that you worked until sometimes as late as, you're in as early as 4 a.m. and you're there until as late as 9 p.m. something. Is that what you said?
9 if I didn't come in till 8:30 and I ran a route in Muskegon, yeah, I might not get back till 9. That's not typical, but that's why I give you a range.
Okay. So on some of the days that maybe, let's say that you don't have the kids, is it realistic to think that you could earn extra hours, work extra hours those days, take an extra route or a longer route? I work pretty much the max amount of hours I can from Tuesday to Friday. I'm just wondering if it was possible to say, do people at Gallagher work on Saturday?
I mean, they do not.
Okay. I don't know. I mean, I'm just asking. I didn't know what about on Sunday, if anyone's working on Sunday, or is that always a closed day?
I think they're always closed.
Okay. You would know, I mean, you were in charge of the routes and things like that?
Right.
Okay. I just was curious if you had the ability to work extra hours on the other days if you didn't have the kids to worry about after school.
No, I don't think so. I think I'm pretty maxed out on my hours that I don't have them.
But they were willing to accommodate that change, right?
Yeah, it was, they did not like it, but I squeaked by with it.
Okay. So right now, the current schedule has you getting the kids to school on Monday and picking them up, right?
Mm-hmm.
How's their yes?
You have to answer yes or no. You can't go, things of that nature.
Okay.
No.
What was the question?
Do you take the kids to school on Monday?
Yes.
Okay. So how's their attendance?
Good on just unless they're sick or unless there is a dentist appointment, which should correlate with any of those days.
Okay, so you're saying a lot of the times when the kids are absent on Mondays, it's because you scheduled an appointment to take them out of school or they're sick?
Right, their dentist is all the way in Grass Lake, which is over an
Okay.
hour away.
Why Grass Lake?
It's the only place that would take them.
Okay, and that's because of Medicaid?
No, I have insurance through work. There's just no one is taking patients. I obviously tried Battle Creek first, but and all the surrounding areas. So it's the only place I could get to take them.
So the kids' dental stuff is kind of just more of a recent issue, right? Recent thing?
Since we've separated.
Did so I want to go back to the attendance thing. So so you said the kids miss school when they're sick or you have appointments?
Right.
So that explains why the school sent you a letter regarding the kids' attendance?
The letter was from the weeks that Jesse started taking them to school. That was a very old letter.
Okay.
Not a recent thing.
And did you look to see what days the kids were actually absent from?
No, I did not.
And if I told you that on those days that 9 of those days are Mondays, would you have any reason to dispute that?
Over a year period.
This year?
I mean, if that's the records, then I would assume.
Okay, well, do you know, can you recall have the kids missed 9 Mondays on your weeks?
I don't count. If they're sick, they don't go in. If they have a dentist appointment, they don't go in.
You just said that you thought they were on Jesse's days, and if I tell you they were on Mondays, those are your days.
I believe the answer was a little bit different than that. She said it was an old letter when Jesse was in charge of getting to school.
That's my recollection, Mr. Mullivan. So if you have specifics, ask her or otherwise move on.
All right. All right. So if the court were to, so again, Mondays you're already doing, right?
Right.
So if the court were to modify the schedule to another school day, you could work on trying to get the kids to school, or would you be willing? Is that true?
It depends. It depends on
Okay.
work.
You guys have recently been relying on Jesse to come to your house to get the kids to school on Tuesday, right?
Correct.
And so that arrangement, if that arrangement continued, would that work? Would that allow a different schedule, or at least help you get the kids to school on your days?
I guess I don't really understand your question.
That's
You're
fine.
saying
Yes.
That's
I'll
fine.
object to the question too. It's speculative and it's not very clear.
Okay. Go ahead, Mr. Mullivan.
Yeah, thank you. No worries. So when you moved to that house in Dowling with Jesse, right? That was 5 years ago?
it could have been. I don't know the
Right.
date.
And again, his parents live nearby, and his brother owns property nearby.
Yep, his parents owned the cottage that we moved into, and they owned their house, and then his brother owns the house in between, but he lives in North Dakota.
Okay, so again, that allows the children to have lots of interaction with their extended family on dad's side, right?
With their grandma and grandpa, yes.
And so you have no concern with that arrangement, right?
With them living by them,
With them being able to see grandma and grandpa?
of course they can see them.
Okay. And obviously, other than that, then, Jesse, the dad's there, right?
Right.
Okay. So you're comfortable with his parenting skills and techniques, right?
Yes.
When you were together,
Alone.
when you guys were together, you didn't have concerns with leaving the kids in his care?
Right, but typically I was their care. But yes, for the amount of time that they were left with him, I felt they were probably safe.
And since the year and a half of your separation, the children have essentially been going to each other's houses pursuant to that schedule we talked about earlier, right?
Yes.
So Jesse's been making sure the kids get to school to and from on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Right. His parents take on half the time, but yes.
And is that, you haven't had any complaints to the school about that arrangement, right? You allow the parents to watch or grandparents to take the kids?
Your Honor, she's answered this question about 3 or 4 times. I'm not I guess cumulative at this point.
Okay, I'll move on. That's fine. And so Victoria, you testified that you make about $56,000 a year from your source of income.
Yep, that is what was on my taxes this year.
So I without having the W-2 in front of me or your tax return in front of me, is that the gross income or adjusted income? Do you recall?
I do not know.
You get a W-2 from Gallagher, right?
Yes, from Gallagher, I get a W-2.
Are you hourly or salary?
I'm hourly,
Okay. And what's the hourly rate?
$28.50.
Okay. And you work approximately 40 hours a week? What?
40.
Okay. You said your health insurance was $385 a month or something. Is that number correct?
$345.
Thank you. And that's per month?
Correct.
And that covers you and the 3 children?
Correct.
4 people? Okay.
Mhm.
Do you have any union dues?
No.
Okay. And so besides your income from Gallagher, you said you're a realtor.
Right.
Do you do any other source of income besides that?
No.
Okay. Do you get a 1099 from a brokerage company for that?
Yes, that's the realtor.
Okay. What company is that?
That is Keller Williams.
Okay. Do you recall what the 1099 was this year, or if not, it's okay.
I don't. What was claimed on my taxes this year was them combined, and that was the 53 or 56. I don't have the taxes in front of me right now, but my 2 combined incomes were that this year.
I have no further questions this time.
Okay, thank you. We'll turn it back over for a redirect to Mr. Schaefer, but Ms. Farva, when you come back next time, if you would, look at your tax returns so that I know exactly how much you made, because 53 or 56 are different, and
Okay.
obviously child support will be based upon whatever the true number is. So that, Mr. Schaefer, go ahead.
The 53 or 56, whatever the total is, that would be the total income that you had from Gallagher and from any realtor income. Is that accurate?
Yes.
And as you indicated before, you've gotten no contribution from your husband in relation to any of the insurance expenses. Is that correct?
Correct.
You were asked about the skills of Jesse of caring for the children. Do you question his skills if, in fact, the children are left alone?
I do think they have been left alone.
And is that bothersome to you as a skill that he has caring for the children?
Of course.
Did your husband make any effort to find dental accommodations for the children, dental needs?
No.
Do they have substantial dental needs?
No, they don't have any more needs right now. Like, we've taken care of all of them this year.
Okay.
Besides cleanings.
Did you have a dentist for the children prior to you leaving at the separation time?
No, we only took them in if there was a big problem because there was no insurance.
So there was not an annual checkup for the kids prior to you getting insurance on the children?
No.
Did you feel that that was a necessity for the kids to have medical and dental coverage and attendance?
Yes.
When you filed did you file returns prior to 2023?
Yes.
And what was Jesse's contribution to the amount that was declared? in 22?
It was always different. It was random because if we were doing flip houses, we obviously didn't really claim taxes. So they probably would not be little to no income most of the years.
And Jesse has represented in pleadings that he makes $60,000 to $70,000 a year. Is that your recollection of his income?
No.
What amount of time when you were together with Jesse did he spend on his employment, which was apparently flipping houses? How many hours a day?
I would say that he would be gone for 10 hours a day. But it would always be different. So I don't know.
Did you have conversations with Jesse about having the kids go to critical care on occasions when they had an illness?
Yes, but he never thought they would need to go.
And what sort of things did he think that they were not needed to go to the doctor?
Mainly pink eye and urinary tract infections.
Did the children engage those maladies and they were not taken to critical care because he did not believe that it was appropriate?
Correct. So I take them, if it happens to be in one of my days, obviously I take them, or try to take them before they go back to his house or whatnot.
The children, there are only 2 children in school and one's in kindergarten, one's in 3rd grade. Do you believe that there is going to be any difficulty of them changing schools at this point in time?
No.
Objection, calls for speculation.
It's a parent's perception of the ability of the children, Your Honor. I think that's a fair lay opinion.
Well, it's probably tenuous in this matter, but go ahead.
Do you believe that they would have any difficulty changing schools?
No.
Due to the, what's the distance from the home of Jesse to the school? How far, how many minutes away is that?
From Gull Lake or from Penfield?
No, Gull Lake.
Gull Lake, I don't know, I would guess 17 to 20 minutes.
You were asked questions about the kids having friendships in school. Are you aware of any visitations outside of school of the children with their friends?
Yes, they have friends over and vice versa.
Okay. Did you ever get an okay from Jesse to change the school to Penfield after you had moved?
No.
Did you have discussion with him of having the children in a more centrally located area because of the travel time?
Yes.
And what was his response to that?
No, he wants them to continue in Gull Lake.
Do you, what do you believe about the proposition of this 2255? Is that going to be workable at all with your current employment?
I do not think it will. And I would like the kids to be consistent every week, not random days.
You talked about, in response to questions about Jesse paying $20,000 in attorney fees in relation to some sort of offense that ended up with him losing his license. Is that your recollection?
Yes.
How long was he without license?
I'm unsure, maybe a year.
You recall out of what jurisdiction this event took place? What county?
Calhoun.
Your Honor, if I may, was there a year on there, or was there a year? I seem to, I might have missed it. That's why I didn't know.
No, she wasn't asked and she didn't give a year.
This event took place when you and Jesse were together?
I don't think we were married, but we were together.
And you were married in 2017, correct?
Correct.
Your Honor, I object to it being not relevant to all this testimony regarding that.
Well, the court will take it for what it's worth, recognizing that, again, it did happen prior to the marriage, so, and obviously before children, so there's a limited utility, I guess, to the testimony. But again, if he had an incident after that, which she claims that did, it would go to, again, his routine, habit, and all of that. So I'll take it for that worth, but recognize it's limited.
Thank you.
To date, have the children ever been to daycare?
No.
When is the last time you were aware that Jesse had a job that was not self-employment or flipping houses?
I think he had a job for about a month doing roofs. Maybe
When would that have been?
that could have been 2 years ago. And then when he worked full time, it would have been, I don't know, from 2010 to 14 maybe. And then it was just spotty on and off.
I don't believe I have any other questions, Your Honor, at this time.
Okay. Mr. Moldovan, any recross?
Thank you, Your Honor. So with respect to the school, you don't live in Penfield School District, right?
Right.
Okay, and you are proposing moving to Marshall.
Correct.
Okay, but your objection to the kids continuing in Gull Lake is really based on the travel time right now that you have, right?
Yes.
Okay, so if the court were to continue the status quo that you've been doing, right?
Right.
You moving to Marshall and allowing the children to be enrolled in Penfield, that's going to only impact your travel time on Mondays, right?
Right. So if the schedule continues the same, then I guess they could continue in Gull Lake if Jesse's going to continue the days.
So if your parent time schedule stays the same, you're okay with the kids staying in Gull Lake because Jesse's taking them to school the majority of the weeks of the days?
If the days stay exactly as they are, yes.
Okay. Otherwise, you would want the kids to go to Penfield schools.
Right. If the days change and I need to get them transported, I need to get somewhere that I can get them on a bus and have help with transportation.
All right. So you said something along the lines of the 2-2-5-5 schedule. I think your words were, I want the kids to have a consistent schedule every week and not random days.
Right. I guess, and I'm considering random them being for me with 2 nights and then 2 nights and then 5 and 5 and all the jumble seems chaotic. And I think they need consistency.
So do you understand that? I mean, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I apologize. Do you understand that the 2-2-5-5 schedule would be consistently every Monday and Tuesday in this scenario would be yours every week? You understand that?
I understand, but I work on Tuesdays.
Okay,
So
and
it's Monday.
okay, and on Wednesday and Thursday, every week would be dad's if under this proposal,
Right.
right? And you work those days?
Yes.
Okay, and then the weekends would be the issue there is they would rotate.
Right.
You understand that? Okay. Do you see that that's not inconsistent, but that's pretty consistent?
Again, that's argumentative, Your Honor.
That's fine.
Okay, move on, Mr. Moldovan.
I will, thank you. So, and Your Honor, I think I'm good for now. I don't.
Okay. Okay, thanks. Mr. Schaefer, any, recrossed or
No,
redirect?
no, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay, that's all we'll take from you then, Ms. Valbra. Next witness, Mr. Schaefer?
Okay, could Your Honor tell me who is in the waiting room? Is a Jennifer Inman there or a Katrina Cole?
Both were there. Inman has left, but Cole is still there.
All right, then I would call Katrina Cole, please.
Okay,
And are you related to Victoria?
Yeah, she's my sister.
And do you know her 3 children?
I do.
How often do you see your sister and the 3 children?
At least once a week.
And have you observed the relationship between your sister and the children?
I have.
How would you describe it?
They're very close towards a great mom.
And have you
Yeah.
observed her?
Objection. Calls for an opinion that I don't think she has the basis to give.
Well,
I think there is a basis, Your Honor.
okay. Well, presumably Mr. Schaefer's going to get into that, so I'll take the answer subject to is, again, laying the foundation.
You see them at least once a week. Is that what I heard you say?
At least.
And you observe the children with their mother and how they react to each other?
Yes.
Do you observe your sister and her children and discipline that she gives them and their reactions on a daily basis when you're there?
Yes, I do.
And how old are you?
I'm 23.
And have you ever seen anything inappropriate going on between your sister and the kids?
No, never.
Okay. Have you seen Jesse and the kids?
I have not seen Jesse and the kids in probably over a year and a half.
Okay. All right. Very good. Are you aware of the schedule that your sister has on working and when she has the kids?
Yes.
When do you normally see the kids and your sister?
Usually on Saturday or Sunday.
Okay. And is it at her home?
Usually she comes to my parents' house, but sometimes I go to her house.
Okay. Are you familiar with the physical outlay of the house?
Yes.
Would you describe that to us, please?
Yeah, it's a 3-bedroom house. Has a full bathroom, washer, dryer. It's always clean. She keeps up on everything.
All right. And are you familiar with the rooms the children have in that house?
Yes.
And do they appear to be appropriate for the children?
Yes, Ava has her own room and Everly and Eli share a room.
Okay. No further questions, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Moldovan, any cross-examination?
No, Ms. Cole, you are Victoria's younger sister?
Yes.
You guys have the same parents?
Yep.
Okay. And you said you see them on Saturdays or Sundays at your parents' house, right?
Not always. Sometimes it's at her house.
Okay. Like when was the last time you saw her interact with the kids?
It would have been this last weekend.
Okay.
So Sunday, I think we had a birthday party for Everly.
Okay. Who all was there?
Her Everly's great grandparents, my parents, aunts and uncles, Victoria.
Anyone else that wasn't related to you?
No.
Okay. And that was the birthday party for, you said, for Everly?
Yes.
What about the time before that?
The time before that,
They saw Victoria with the kids.
it would have been the weekend before that.
Mother's Day weekend?
Yes, if that's when that was.
Okay. Who was there?
But really the same people. Mario would have been there. Aunts and uncles, because we had a Mother's Day celebration.
Okay. So who's Mario? Is that Mario Burns? Is
Yes.
that Victoria's boyfriend?
It was a friend of hers, yeah, to my understanding.
Were they drinking? Was there drinking involved that day?
Not to my knowledge. It was like around noon is when everybody got together. So kind of early for that.
How long were you guys together that day?
I don't know, maybe till 4 or 5, I would say. But
You think your sister's a good mom?
yeah, she's a great mom.
Nothing further. Thank you.
Anything else? Redirect Mr. Schaefer.
Nothing else, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Cole, that will conclude your testimony. Thank you. You're free to go. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Who else? Do we have anybody else?
Nobody else at this time. There was a Jennifer Inman present earlier, but
Okay.
she has since left.
Okay, we
Your
don't have
Honor,
anybody else.
Your Honor, I had one other witness scheduled. That was Jennifer Inman. She had, obviously, she had a work requirement, so that's probably why she has left earlier. That
Okay.
would be the last witness that I would be
Okay.
calling.
Well, obviously, it's a little bit early. I'd hope to go right up until noon, but why don't we break now? We've got another date scheduled, so we will continue at that time. I think we'll probably be in touch with your offices, and because we didn't get in today's date, we'll set up another half a day, just so we have that as backup if we need it. Anything else
Okay, very good.
paper today?
Nothing further, Your Honor. Thank you.
Mr. Moldovan, anything else today?
No, nothing further. Thank you, Your Honor. and
Okay.
Good luck, Schaefer, this afternoon.
Okay,
Yeah, thank you.
thank you. We'll stand in recess then.
All right, thanks, Judge.
All right, very good. We'll close the record here.
Thank you.